Hey guys, I just wanted to say thank you for using my creator code whenever you purchase any Sims 4 DLC on the EA app or thesims.com. I receive a 5% commission each time you use my code, which means you're directly supporting me as a creator. I know there are a lot of codes floating around out there, so I am very grateful that you've chosen me to support in this way. Thank you so much. Hey guys, it is MissSimReno. If you are returning to the channel, welcome back. And if you're brand new, I am very excited that you decided to join me here today for another speed build. And today I am really excited because we are building with the brand new expansion pack, Adventure Awaits. I would also like to thank EA for early access to this pack, though you are seeing this, like a week after it came out? I don't know, something like that. I did do this build when I got early access, so you might actually see the little EA Creator Network thing on screen or whatever, but you're seeing it about a week after the pack is out, so I'm sure you all have either started to explore it or, you know, watched other people's builds or gameplay or whatever with this new pack already. So I'm a little late to the game, but that is what happens when you have a young baby at home, which many of you probably already know, but I'm actively on maternity leave. And that means that there's been a ton of pre-recorded builds that I've put out, like gameplay and builds and stuff like that. But this is, of course, a bit more recent because it is with the new pack. And I'm really excited because I was looking forward to this pack. Now, I will say up front, I have some qualms. I do have qualms. I'm not going to go over said qualms in this particular video, but maybe in the future we can talk about them a little bit more. And definitely let me know your thoughts about this new pack in the comments down below. All I ask, as always, is to keep things respectful and constructive, you know? That's all I ask. We're a positive community here, but there's room for criticism, okay? There's always room. Anyway, overall though, I am really excited for this pack because there was a lot of things that came with it that I was really looking forward to. And one of the first things that I wanted to build, as many of us have wanted to build, is a kids summer camp. So it hurt my heart, but I did have to bulldoze the one that my dear friend Tanya built for the ship of this pack, which is amazing. Congrats again, Tanya. They built a couple of builds, I want to say. I think it was the lounge, the summer camp, and then the retreat area with the A-frames, I think. I don't fully remember, but anyway, a lot of the builds that came with this were absolutely amazing, and I was excited to jump in and try to build a summer camp because I have wanted kids summer camp since we got Seasons. I've wanted it so bad. And with this pack, we have the introduction of custom venues and getaways. Now, again, there are probably tons of videos out already explaining how these things work. I'm just dipping my toes into these things because my first question when I heard about getaways was, how in God's name is this different from a vacation, which we already have in the game, right? And what I'm realizing, correct me if I am wrong, because I've only toyed around with it a little tiny bit, but what I'm realizing is that it's essentially a vacation, but there's a daily schedule to adhere to. Is that, am I missing the mark? Tell me if I'm missing the mark, because if I am, I need to know. But I had, I wanted to playtest this summer camp that I built, which I'm really excited about. This is like the common area, by the way. Anyway, and I had a child sim come here, and I think I was going to have them come for like 3 or 4 days or something, you know? And of course I have the daily schedule, and you got to assign all the roles and everything. And this, as a custom venue, was technically a summer camp. I think, right? Like, it's just a custom venue. Yeah, I think that's what it was. And this was the summer camp that I had built. So I was like, cool, we're going to go here. And essentially, yeah, my kid came here and everybody else showed up and they stayed here for 3 or 4 days, however long I designated, and they had a daily schedule. And that was about it. You obviously still had to pay for it. So it seems like a vacation just with a schedule and, of course, assigned activities during those scheduled times, which is similar to the businesses and hobbies system of assigning particular activities for customers versus employees, right? So it kind of piggybacks off of that system, it seems. Now, I have mixed feelings about that. On one end, I like systems being able to, I'll say, work together. Okay, so that system doesn't necessarily work with the businesses and hobby system, it borrows from it. And even though I can see the positives of doing something like that, at times it can make the new system feel very recycled. And I've said this before. I have said this about like animations when we get new packs. We have like new interactions, but the animation is one that we've seen like 3 or 4 times. And for me, it breaks immersion really, really quickly. And it kind of bums me out that that seems to be a continued thing that we're seeing lately, because I feel like this pack, this contains so much that we've been asking for, I think, for this game for so long. So I was really looking forward to it. I think the world is beautiful. I think it was based off of, is it New Zealand? I could be wrong. Let me know in the comments because I don't really recall. And there's a lot of stuff that came with it that I am really looking forward to. But when things feel like borrowed systems or recycled animations and things like that, it just like bums me out. And I don't want to be this Debbie Downer, okay? But there's so many things where I'm like, oh wow, this would have been great for like an outdoor retreat refresh. I don't want to be that person that's like, you should have refreshed this pack or whatever and added X, Y, and Z. But look, catching like bugs and stuff like that, yeah, it kind of fits outdoor retreat. I don't know what to tell you. But all in all, like if you are a person who is looking for maybe this like outdoor experience, right? If I were going to recommend packs, which why am I doing that? I don't know. But I would have like outdoor retreat. I would have this pack, seasons, and like snowy escape. But hear me out. That's because of the winter sports and the hiking trails and stuff that you can have your Sims go on in Mount Como. So anyway, I don't know. I have so many thoughts and they're very scattered right now because I want to talk about all of it, but I also want to talk about this build. So you can see we're working on the little cabins here. I only made 3. I think originally there were maybe 4, because I think you can have up to 8 Sims at summer camp, up to 2 camp counselors and a camp director. Now I made the error, so forgive me. I made the error though because I have 3 beds, because I only wanted 6 kids to be able to go to summer camp, at least this one. So this is for 6 kids and maybe the director and 1 counselor, but 2 counselors still showed up even though I assigned the roles and only picked like 1. I don't know, it was a little bit confusing. It's very micromanagey. I think it's great for customization, but can also be really, really overwhelming if you're not familiar with the system and really how it works. So I digress. So there's only room for 6 campers, and then there's 2 beds in one of the other cabins for like the counselors / director. But if you have the max number of Sims that can go on a getaway like this, a summer camp getaway, not everyone's gonna have a bed. So that's kind of an oversight on my end. I apologize if you're looking for like the absolute max. I think what you could probably do is I do have like bunk beds and a single bed in the camper cabins, but you could probably just sneak in another set of bunk beds and then you'd have the total of like 8 campers. So it could work out just fine. But I just wanted to say that up front because I was still learning how this all worked when I was building it. And I knew I was going to run into like an error or something like that. But those are the cabins. There's a little modular playground off to the side, which I thought was nice. And then I made a splash pad here. A splash-splad. I can't even talk. A splash pad, because I was gonna add like a little pool, but I was like, that's too small. And then I ran into this weird glitch. It had to have been glitched because I don't know what else would have caused it, but I couldn't put down floor tiles on any outside area unless it was a room. I couldn't add floor tiles, so I had to use this terrain paint, which I wasn't super thrilled with. But I made a splash pad there originally. I think I keep one of those little like splash paddy thingies there, and then I also add marbles and hopscotch just to add like more kids activities, because I was of course playing without pack restriction at this point, so I had a lot of things that I could add for kiddos, which was really nice. And this was actually before I think there was an update to Better Build By, because I was unable, this could have still been user error as well, but I wasn't able to like hold shift down and like use the eyedropper tool to copy, debug, and like live edit object stuff from the new pack. And that was hard. That was really hard to deal with. It was hard to manage. So there's since been an update to Better Build By, which I believe has resolved that for me. So I think it was that, but I didn't realize that it needed an update at the time. So I was like, all right, and I'll just make do, right? Our modders are freaking rock stars getting things updated whenever there's like a new patch. So I was happy to kind of go along with the struggle there. But anyway, I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm trying to record this during one of my child's naps as per usual, and my voiceovers end up just being so rambly. So my baby, they're a sweet little angel. They do take many a nap. I didn't realize how many naps little babies take, but they take many, many naps, and my office is like right next to their bedroom. we do have a sound machine and stuff to try to block out a lot of this, and I don't think I've woken them up before by doing a voiceover, but I try to be super, super quiet while I'm doing these. And right now I am solo parenting because my husband is out and about. So I have to be watchful of waking up the child, which I don't want to do. Anyway, I'm just trying to map out like some pathways and stuff. I'm trying to figure out the landscaping because this lot, I think this is a 50 by 40. I want to say it's a 50 by 40. It's a pretty big lot. And I was honestly very intimidated because I didn't really know if I was going to be able to fill said lot at all. I thought that the cabins and this little like communal area really weren't going to do it, but it did. And I also add 2 docks. I think we already saw one, but I add a second one as well. Now, what I end up doing though, I will say this, is I added some of the new slides, like the pool slides, and they didn't clip to the dock, but I placed them where they look like they could work. And when I was playtesting this, your girl completely forgot to playtest the slides. So I don't know if they work, and I apologize if they don't, but I tried, and at least it looks nice. It's because I couldn't build a pool. So even on, actually this was kind of odd because I did try to build that pool. I think you probably just saw it like 2 seconds ago. I did try it in that little space where the splash pad is, but it said something like it couldn't build a pool that would be lower than like the height of this lot or something. It popped up with some kind of error. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, what do you mean? Like, why can't I put a pool all the way back here away from the water? Like, it didn't make any sense to me. So I don't know. I was encountering a handful of glitches. And I think since I even built this, I think there's been another patch. So maybe some of these things have been attended to. I have no idea. I also don't know if these little ladders actually work either. I don't know. This is unlike me. Okay. I was on limited time because I was building this over the course of like 3 days. When, you might ask? During my child's naps. That is what I was doing because I don't have a lot of time to do things unless they're sleeping, because babies require much attention. Yes, they do, which I'm glad to give to them. But anyway, right here, I decided to build a little gazebo, and because I was thinking of summer camp, they always put on like little plays and shows and stuff. And I thought, why don't I add the little puppet station thing, the puppet show thingy from, what's it called? The Kids Room stuff? Is that from Kids Room or Parenthood? I don't remember. I think it's Kids Room stuff. And I added that with a couple of chairs. So I added one of the activities for this to be like doing puppet shows or whatever it is. So the kids will actually go ahead during a certain time slot, I think before bed and like the campfire time, they'll do like little puppet shows. I thought that was such a nice little addition. It's just another activity for your kids to do when they're at summer camp, and it seemed to fit. I think I never went to summer camp explicitly, but we did do, I think it was 5th grade. We did outdoor ed. So we went away for, it might have only been like a long weekend, honestly, but it felt like forever because I had never been away from home. It was actually kind of scary for me, but we did outdoor ed, and I think we put on, or the camp counselors or whatever put on like a little performance. So it always makes me think of that. It makes me think of like summer camp and outdoor ed and stuff. And I don't know, I really liked it. And I also added these little string lights that I put all around the little deck there at the communal space, whatever, from the little campers kit, which I'm going to get in my soapbox again. Little campers kit fits perfectly with this pack and the summer camp theme, which is silly to me. It's silly. It's fine when some packs are complementary, but when you have one theme spread out across like 6 DLC, you're going to start to get me mad. You're going to start to get me a little bit mad. But yeah, pretty much done here. The little archery areas over here as well. I thought that was kind of perfect. We've got some lounge chairs, and that's pretty much like all of the activities outside, I want to say. There's so many more things that you could add if you want to, but that's all I could think of at the time. And now we're working on the little communal area here. So there's kind of like a little welcome area here with the, is that like a terrarium? I don't know which, I don't recall, but you can add like moths and butterflies that your Sims catch into this, which is really nice. And I found that big debug map of Gibbi Point that it's floating technically, it doesn't clip to the wall, but I added that as well. We have some images over here that are kind of outdoorsy from the new pack. We have the scouting board because I think scouting works really, really well with summer camp and things like that. And there really isn't much here aside from just things to look at in that terrarium thing. There's a bathroom in here, and then there's a kitchen and a dining space, as well as I'll call it like a little rec area for the kids. Like there are bookshelves, I think there's like a dollhouse. I think there's a computer, and I'll say the Don't Wake the Llama table, but it's the other version from the little campers kit with the Yeti. I don't remember what it's called, but it's similar to that, right? And yeah, just lots of outdoorsy stuff like mounted fish, the paddles, this little archery decoration from the new pack. And this is so freaking cute. I don't know how you make that, because I think you can make it. Paper mache, that little heart with all the kids' handprints. I thought that was perfect for a summer camp. I think maybe every single summer they have the kids do something like that and they keep it on display until next year. I thought that was a really, really cute idea. And you'll probably have noticed too that there is technically a second story to this building, but I did not add a staircase or turn it into anything. It was really just added to give some dynamic to this build and the kind of the roof line. So if you want to add a ladder or a staircase somewhere to access that second level, you could possibly make that the camp director's quarters, if you will, have the 2 camp counselors in the other cabin as intended, and then make all of the beds bunk beds to have the max amount of campers. That could be a great solution to the errors that I made. And the only reason I know that they're errors at this point is because when I built this, at the time we were recording this voiceover, I built this last week when the pack came out. And since then, I've watched other builds and watched some other like gameplay footage and stuff, and I've learned a lot more about how these venues work and about how all of the assigning of roles works and stuff like that. So it is a learning curve for us all. But yeah, this is going to be like the little dining area. So even though there's picnic tables outside everywhere, I would imagine that every morning, like all the campers would come in here and they'd all have meals together and stuff. And I do put these little drawings from Growing Together on the wall, but I end up getting the big, I've never used it before, this item. I think it's great for rec centers, but it's like a display board that has different like kids artwork and stuff. So I put it in there instead because I wanted there to be little trinkets and things that show that, you know, the campers have obviously made crafts and done stuff like that, because we do have the little paper craft item or whatever it is now. I believe that came with the pack, not a base game update, even though I think we have paper mache with base game now. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I did another build. It was right before the pack came out. It was like a camper's visitor center, and I found in the debug menu these like paper mache animal heads and like little like origami things and stuff that you could put on the wall. And I was like, when was that put in base game? Probably when we got the playground venue update added to base game, right? But anyway, this is also going to be like the little kind of like rec area, if you will. So there is a desk. I think I leave a computer there because maybe they can like once a week send emails to their parents or something. That would be kind of cute. And then I add, like I said, the Don't Wake the Llama table, but it's the Yeti version that came with the little campers kit. There's a chair and like some bookcases and stuff, and like a little pop-up storybook. Of course, you can't read that one, but again, from the little campers kit, I just thought it was cute. I don't know. And it was just a nice little tiny area. I didn't want it to have too many activities because I would think that at summer camp, these kids are going to be outside a lot. They're going to be doing a lot of outside activities. But if the weather's kind of crappy, you're going to want to do some things inside too. But in the individual, what am I trying to say? Cabins. There we go. That's what they're called. In the individual cabins, I do, of course, add a few different activities as well. So they could like hang out in their cabins with their bunkmates and stuff. But this is going to be the kitchen. Now, I'm going to say something to you all. I'm going to say it. I made a pantry and I went so minimal on the pantry. It was literally just to fill space. Please don't come for me. I could have made it so much more complex, but I decided not to. It's just for show because I didn't know what to do with this little square space over here. I wasn't going to make another bathroom or anything. So I added like a couple of decorative items in there to make it look like a pantry or like food storage. And that's it. Okay. I skimped. I really did. I didn't go too intense with it. But in here we do have 2 ovens and, ovens and stovetops. Yeah, ovens and stoves. For some reason, I thought stoves and ovens were the exact same thing for a second. We also... That's embarrassing. We also have a microwave. I added the pizza maker too because I thought maybe like once a week they had pizza night. That'd be kind of fun, right? And I added the new blender because yes, we have blenders now. So maybe some of the camp counselors or the director could make like healthy smoothies that keep them going because they've got to run after these kids all day. We also have a new kettle that came with this pack too. And I just add a couple of other decorative items. I mean, it's nothing crazy because this is more of a commercial kitchen based on its usage, right? I wasn't going to add a ton of like really personalized clutter, but I wanted there to be a variety of items too that would make sense for for a summer camp, for a little kitchen like this. So here are like the handful of decorations that I add to this space as well. I was like, I don't know, it's a pantry, whatever. Y'all can fill it if you want to. You could turn it into another bathroom if you want to, but I just didn't want to do that. So I didn't. There is only the one bathroom in this like communal space too, by the way. It's just like a single toilet. And then each cabin has its own, well, I was gonna say full bathroom, but they're technically 3/4 bathrooms because they have just showers. They don't have like a shower tub combo or just a bathtub. So that's that. Yeah, and this bathroom isn't super exciting either. It's very minimally decorated because I didn't really feel like decorating bathrooms. Can't even lie to you. Didn't care enough to do it. I added like a couple of items and that's about it. I'm like now out of sorts because I had to take a break in the middle of this voiceover to tend to my child. And now I'm coming back to it like a couple hours later and I'm like, where did I even leave off? Like, what am I talking about? Whoop. I have different energy levels now. But now we're gonna be working on the cabins. So they are somewhat color coded. I tried my best and I tried to match the little entryway rug at the front of each cabin and the flag with the interior. So this is going to be the red cabin. And you have like this little entryway area where they can like hang up their backpacks and put their shoes and stuff like that. I thought it was a nice entryway little storage thing. We have the decorative paddles. I tossed the stuff in there for the bathroom real quick so I didn't forget. And this was my first time going through the build and buy items as well. Like I had not gone through all of these things yet. So I was just trying to pull out anything that I possibly could that was new and different and would fit this space. And I was really pleased. I do like the build and buy. I kind of wish there were more pieces of artwork. I say this with almost every freaking pack. I don't want to say we need, because this game has been out for 11 years. You think if we're in need of more artwork with all the artwork we have, I don't know what that says about all the artwork, but I just need more artwork. I'm going to say it. We need more artwork, and we only had a handful of things here, so that was kind of frustrating to me. But in here we do have the 3 beds. Like I would recommend adding like maybe a second bunk bed instead of the single bed here. Maybe trying to reconfigure things a bit. If you wanted the max number of campers, that would be great. We do have the dresser. We have like that little shelf has hooks, but it also has like a bunch of board games, which I thought was really cute. We have a TV in here, and that little you can put like bugs in it, that little thing, the little netted thing next to the TV, because yeah, your Sims can now, I want to say like, I don't say incubate, that's not really the word, but I guess that's it. I don't know. They can catch bugs and stuff in there, and they can keep them in there, and they can grow big and everything. I don't know. I haven't really played with it yet. I also added one of the imaginary friends, which, let me say, I haven't had a chance to say this. The imaginary friends in The Sims 3 were one of my favorite things. I loved them. I thought it was the coolest thing that your imaginary friends could come to life. Like it thrilled me in The Sims 3. So seeing them return to The Sims 4, even though I think it should have been like growing together or something like that, I'm so happy. I'm so happy. And it's so cool that we have different kinds of imaginary friends, and they might have like, you can assign them like different skills. Like you can have like a creative imaginary friend. I don't know. I just think it's really, really neat. I'm so happy to see them back. But that was the red cabin, and this is going to be kind of the bluey teal cabin ish. I don't know. It's kind of difficult to discern, but I made them all a little tiny bit different. Well, especially these two, because these are for the campers. So even though the beds are in the same place, I tried to kind of change where some of the other objects might be. Again, there's imaginary friends. There's a toy chest in here. I think I also added a TV in this one. I think they both have TVs and like the retro gaming consoles that came with this new pack. But I can't remember. I think they do, because I really couldn't think of what else to put in here. I really couldn't. This one also, I think, has a stereo, so they could like listen to music and stuff, which I thought was kind of cool. But yeah, I like these little cabins. They are tiny. I was really stretched for space, and I didn't realize that until I got in there, but I do really like them. I think they have a lot of personality, and you know what? If I was a kid, I would want to stay in a cabin like this. I think it would be really fun. And then the last cabin is actually just going to be for the, what did I say? Like the camp counselors, or the camp counselor and camp director to share, or something like that, because I didn't put enough space in here for everybody, but that's okay. And they just each have like a single bed, and it's very minimally decorated. I think I do add another desk and computer though, so they can do like admin things or whatever, because I didn't add like an office for admin of the summer camp. So they have a desk and stuff, and of course another 3/4 bath. I'll say full bath, but it's technically a 3/4 bath. And since a lot of the other colors were very like in your face with some of the new things we got, I just made this one green. It's like very, very basic, but I do really like it. And I don't know, I just really enjoyed this build. And overall, I do like this pack. I think I just have to dive into it a little bit more and see what possibilities there are with like custom venues and stuff too. And maybe my tune will change. I don't want to like, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer about it when I haven't really explored it that much yet. But that is pretty much it for this build. So I hope you all enjoyed this one. I cannot wait to hear your thoughts, and I will catch you next time I post a video, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.
When your life's been put on hold for far too long, when the sorrow and despair is growing strong, there is always something good to be obtained from breaking loose and leave the things that kept you chained. So when you find